Hello everybody once again! This is AikawaKazu. Welcome back to another Black Desert Online video. Today we'll take a look at Imperial crafting for cooking and alchemy, and we'll basically share with you the basics. Alright, but before we go to that, first let me share with you, in my opinion, what the point of Imperial crafting is. Imperial crafting basically allows you to convert the materials that you have gotten via your worker empire into silver, especially the ones that are obsolete in the marketplace that no one will probably buy anyway. We'll talk about that more later. There are a lot of quote-unquote useless like food, dishes, items, materials in the game, but they are now made useful for like life skillers or part-time life skillers like me, because now they can be liquidated to silver via the Imperial packages that are then handed to the Imperial crafting NPCs. And if you have watched my beginner guide video and you have followed what I have done in the game so far, we have gotten your cooking to Artisan 1, your processing to Artisan 1, and if you have been doing some alchemy, we have done your alchemy to Artisan 1 as well. All three of these life skills are very important for you when it comes to Imperial crafting. And yeah, now you can make use of these life skills to make some silver in the game. I personally make about 19 million silver every day via Imperial crafting hand-ins, and I can make even more as I increase my contribution points in the future. You'll be like, huh? What has CP got to do with this, right? Which brings us to the basics of Imperial crafting. So how many hand-ins you can do for Imperial crafting is dependent on your maximum contribution points, which is, at this point in time, I have 302 contribution points right now, right? So if you go to the Imperial crafting delivery NPC over here, you can see at the top left corner, daily delivery quantity 100 or 100. That means that I can hand in 100 times. So what does that mean? That means that the amount of hand-ins is 1/3 of your maximum CP. So 300 divided by 3 is 100, right? So in NE and EU, it is actually half of their contribution points, which means in the future, I'm not sure if this will happen, but it might happen probably, that the amount of hand-ins will then be changed or increased to half of your maximum CP, which means that 300 CP are looking at 150 hand-ins in the future, which means that I can get 50 more hand-ins, which means I can make more silver from Imperial crafting. Alright, what you can actually pack or Imperial craft is done via the processing window. The shortcut key should be L for most of you, right? It brings up the processing window. And if you look at the bottom right of the processing window, you have Imperial cuisine and Imperial alchemy. Alright, so when you click on those, you can see, you read here, pack dishes for Imperial delivery. If cooking level goes up, you can pack more things. So it's dependent on your cooking level for Imperial cuisine. You can sell completed goods to Imperial crafting delivery NPC in delivery events, right? So it's not really event based. Basically, you just go to this NPC and you can basically hand in, you can see there's food and there's medicine, right? Medicine is for alchemy, food is for cooking. And you can see Imperial delivery is complete. That means that the amount of hand-ins you can do for apprentice fried fish for cooking is already completed, right? So this brings us to the next basic for Imperial crafting delivery, right? Which is that the Imperial crafting NPC have their own hand-in counts, right? For each of the major city that they are in, and this is also independent of the server that you are in. That means that right now in Southeast Asia we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 servers, right? So all 9 servers will have 9 Imperial crafting delivery NPC in Hado City, for example, and all 9 of them, they have independent hand-in counts, which means that right now, maybe, because right now I'm in Surrender 2, right? If I go to, let's say, B2, that the Bananos 2 Imperial crafting NPC might not have this completed. That means that it might have remaining 26, right? So take note, the Imperial crafting hand-in counts is independent of the server, that's the first thing, and also independent of the NPC in each major city. That means that right now in Halo, it might be, completed, but let's say if I go to Calphion, somewhere that's further away, for example, right, that the Imperial crafting NPC in Calphion will have a different set of Imperial crafting hand-ins that is not affected by whoever hands in the NPC in Halo. So server independent and NPC independent as well. Alright, it is usually around 24 to 34 hands. You can see right now that the lowest you can see 25 over here. The suit tea is 25, and then you can see like 30, 33, and then you go to medicine for alchemy. You can see 34 for the professional elixir of demi-human hunt. Alright, and I believe 24 is the lowest. 23 might be the lowest, I'm not sure. This one someone might have handed in, I'm not sure. but it might be as low as 21, I'm not sure. So it's like 20 to like 34. I have not seen 35 so far, but basically that's the gauge that you can have. Alright. So the other thing that you need to know when it comes to basics is that every time when you change your character, that means, you know, if you go to, you disconnect, you change to another character, if you go to character screen, if you do anything that locks you in and out of the game, if you change server, you will have a 10 minutes cooldown before you can see what's in the list. That means, let's say if I change channel now, right, I cannot click this. There will be a notification that says that, oh, you have a 600 seconds cooldown before you can see what Imperial Crafting delivery is available for this NPC. So take note of that, because you don't want to we'll talk more about implications about that, but basically every time when you change server, there's a 10 minutes cooldown. Alright. The Imperial package itself is very, very heavy. It's 80 LT. So let me show you here. You know. Yep, you can see one Imperial. This is the Skilled Alchemist Elixir of Seal Alchemy box. It's 80 LT. So Imperial packages are very, very heavy. They cannot, alright, they cannot be transported. That means you cannot pack them in advance and send them to another city, right? You cannot place them on a wagon as well. That means you cannot place a wagon beside the NPC over here and you do your overstacking that you do when you grind at South Suns or whenever you do your usual grinding. So you cannot overstack your Imperial packages because it's apparently bound to your character. It doesn't allow you to put into the wagon or the mount or whatever. So you cannot place and you cannot transport Imperial crafting packages. Alright. Imperial crafting hand-ins, that means the number, alright, the amount of hand-ins will reset to another random amount, or, you know, when it's completed, you'll reset to allow you to hand in again every 3 hours. Alright, but it's may reset. Alright, again, the keyword is may reset every 3 hours. So, you know, 12 PM or noon, you can reset. You know, midnight, you can reset. 3 PM, 3 AM, you can reset. 6 PM, 6 AM, you can reset. 9 PM, 9 AM, you can reset. So why do I say may? Right? Because not all the servers will reset at the timings that I mentioned, but definitely I would say at least one of the 9 servers that we have will have resetted. So it's good to have your friends, your guildmates who are in different channels. You know, you tell your friends, hey, you know, if you see an Imperial crafting, right, very important, Imperial crafting reset, because that's Imperial delivery reset, that's different. That's for the trading guy over here. So there's 2 different notifications. So Imperial crafting will reset at every 3 hours. So it's 12, 3, 6, 9, and then AM, PM. You know what I mean? And it may reset. So get your guildmates, get your friends to like PM you whenever they see like an Imperial crafting reset notification on screen at those timings that I mentioned. So it's may reset, alright. You also have a small chance to pack 2 packages instead of 1. So if you actually do your Imperial cuisine, that's where you pack. I'll show you the packing later on. You pack the thing that you want to the Imperial version for you to hand in, right? There's a chance that you can pack 2 in 1 proc in that sense. Yeah, but it's a very, very low chance as far as I can see so far. Last thing for basics is that you can unpack your Imperial packages. So right now, let's say, you know, I don't want to hand in Hado because Hado is so contested. Like everybody is here. You look at the NPC right now. Right now it's 1 AM. So at a 12 AM quote-unquote reset that may or may not happen, you can see a lot of the things, the popular things like, you know, meat stew, boiled eggs, you know, tea refined sand, you know, honey wine. This one very popular as well. They are all already completed, right? And Hado is a very, very popular main city that a lot of people do their life skills in. So let's say, you know, you don't want to do your hand-ins in Hado anymore, and you want, but you have already done the packages, right? So you can actually unpack them by processing them via Imperial Cuisine again. So basically, you go back to Imperial Cuisine for food, go back to Alchemy for alchemy stuff, and you can unpack. But you only get back 80% as far as I can see. Because I quote-unquote made that mistake before and I had to unpack and then transport the unpacked food to another city where I want to do my Imperial hand-ins to then repack them. So the example that I did was meat stew, right? So meat stew, you need 20 meat stew. Yeah, you can see there are 20 meat stew in 1 package. So I go back 16 meat stew whenever I try to unpack my Imperial meat stew cooking box, right? So it's just to let you know, it's more like a helpful kind of thing. You know, in case if you want to unpack, you know that you can actually do that as well. Because as I mentioned earlier on, you cannot transport and you cannot put your Imperial crafting packages on the wagons or anything. Yeah, you can't transport them as well, except with your character, I guess. Okay, so this brings us to the setup, right? So what essentially do you need to make your life better, to make your life easier when it comes to Imperial crafting and Imperial crafting for cooking and alchemy? So just some stuff that I want to share with you guys here. You know, very standard. You want your cooking clothes +3, reduce your cooking time by 4 seconds, so you cook a lot faster. You're more efficient with your time. Obviously, you want the alchemist clothes as well, -4 seconds for alchemy time as well. Very nice, right? And then for processing, it's more like to pack your stuff faster. But this one by no means important. I think a +2 will do. No need to have a +3. But I got this because I do some processing of, like, you know, you want to grind your grain, like your wheat, into flour. You want your processing to go faster, then you might want to get a +3, right? Okay, the +2 trader clothes basically for weight. I'll talk about this later on, right? You want to have like an alchemy stone, a sturdy alchemy stone of life would be really nice, -1.1 second. You don't need a yellow red. You can go for white even. You just want the cooking and alchemy time reduction, alright? And white alchemy stone of life also gives you the processing success rate as well. A green one will give you the weight limit increase, so you might want to go for a green sturdy. Or if you just want to cook fast, if you just want to make alchemy crafts faster, then, you know, a white sturdy, a white sharp is fine. But at least a sturdy, I would say, for stone of life. Don't need to get sturdy yellow unless you do gathering like me, or, you know, you want a blue for gathering +2 or fishing. That's up to you. But when it comes to cooking fast, when it comes to making your alchemy crafts fast, you just need the white version. Just want a time reduction, right? You can also buy Taft sandwich, right? Cooking and alchemy time -0.5 seconds as well. That will be very, very nice. And also last but not the least, you have your advanced cooking utensil, right? And your advanced alchemy tool to reduce your cooking and alchemy time by a further 1 second. So with my canopy costume, which is the cooking pearl costume, right, I can cook at 1.3 seconds. That's really, really nice. Obviously, if you get a cooking +4 clothes, then maybe you don't need a canopy costume, right? You also don't need to use like your advanced cooking utensil if you can get a +4, but that'll be really tough for most of you. I haven't tried to go for it yet, but I'll definitely go for it in the future. But if not, the canopy costume is nice, but definitely not a must-have. It'd be nice to have. And my alchemy is 3.2 seconds or 3.3 seconds with the setup that I mentioned just now. Yeah. Okay, so this brings us to the next part for the setup. But before we get to that, alright, if you want to hand in your alchemy crafts fast, because, you know, like, let's say if you're doing Halo and you want to beat the time, right? And you know that the alchemy hand-ins, I mean, the packages are really heavy, right? So you can only carry like 12, 11, you know, packages, and you have to run between the storage and the NPC, so it'll take a long time, right? Like, you have to run from there, the storage for Halo NPC, over to the Imperial crafting NPC over here. For some cities, the storage is even further away from the Imperial crafting delivery. So what you can do, if you can spare 10 CP, okay, this is just using Halo as an example, you can get a 10 CP container and you put the container in Halo-11, right? It's just a 1 CP house, if I'm not wrong. One of the most valuable 1 CP you ever spent. And you can see this house is where I do my cooking and my alchemy, right? You can put a container in here, and that connects your storage to this house. So you put a container in here, and then you can access the storage from here. You just grab your packages, you go out, boom, that's it. Grab your packages, boom, go out. And then this is if you really, really want to try hard and you want to be competitive, and you want to hand in all the stuff you want in the server that resets in the major city. So if you are really try hard, for example, I mentioned that there's a 10 minutes cooldown. What you do is you can then start camping at, let's say, 11:50. Let's say you're gonna hand in at 12, because at midnight, that's when your Imperial hand-ins quantity resets. Some people want to just finish all their quantity when, you know, it resets at 12. Just like how you can collect all your daily boss scrolls at 12. It resets at 12, right? So you can do the 10 CP container method. That's like if you want to go full tryhard. I personally have not done a 10 CP hand-in myself, because 10 CP is a lot of CP right now, especially with Valencia. Even at 302 CP right now, I wouldn't want to spend 10 CP just for that convenience. And I'll tell you why later on towards the end of the video. Alright, so last but not the least, because I mentioned that the Imperial crafting packages are very, very heavy, you might want a weight equipment setup over here, and I'll share with you what I mean, alright? So you basically go for 3 Hercules set bonus, which is 150 LT plus 50 LT, and then you go for the Zerif armor piece, which gives you 50 LT. So 200 from the Hercules, and then another 50, that's 250. Right, and then the Trian Spirit accessory set gives you another 100, that's 350. And then last but not the least, an Azula Crimson Eye Belt for another beautiful 100, because its item effect is 100. So this is a very, very nice weight, quote-unquote, set to have. So you can see I'm at 1184 LT right now. If I wear this, right, I can go up to 1574, which I believe is a 390 difference overall compared to the previous one that I was wearing with my usual grinding gears. And it makes a lot of difference. Let's see how many packages I can carry, and I can show you the handing part of the packing part, or rather the handing part of the Imperial crafting. Right? We're going to do Alchemy here, so I have some Imperial wings, sorry, Elixir of Wings, right? So, see, 21 is too heavy, right? You can't hand in when you're so heavy, so I have to reduce, let's say, 2, 5. So wait, I can do 1 and 5, so I can get 15. I think this is too much, so yeah, 15. So just to share with you, usually when I hand in my Imperial crafting hand-ins, is about 12 is my limit. So with this setup, I can hand in 15, that's really nice. That means 2 trips, you're done. Ideally, I think you want at least 12, because I mentioned that previously there's like, up to, the low amount of hand-ins is 24, and the high is 34. So if you can hit 12 per hand-in, then you just make like, 3 trips at the most, right? So 15 is really nice, that means you do 2 trips, so that's beautiful. Right, so you go to Imperial crafting delivery here, and you can see Elixir of Wings, 195,000 per box, right? And you can see at the top right corner, I can just click sell all, right? And then when I sell everything, I gain 2.9 mil. You can see, very nice. So after this, you basically just head back, right? And you put back in your silver, you grab another 15 packages, and then so on and so forth. That's how you basically do your hand in. And you'll notice that with my current CP, right, I will basically make, quote unquote, 19 mil, because that thing is 19, like 195,000, right, times 100 is 19.5 mil, and I can make 19.5 mil from Imperial crafting delivery in that sense, right, so that's the handling part. Okay, so that's the weight as well, right. Let's see what else. Next thing. Okay, so a lot of people actually have this question, right? That why Imperial crafting? Do you actually make 19.5 mil? Why do people hand in certain dishes compared to other dishes, right? So this is where I talk about sustenance, or being able to sustain your Imperial crafting right now. Why am I talking about that? So if you look at Imperial crafting right now, I used to have, where is my cooking honey? I used to have over 40,000 cooking honey. I'm down to 12,000 right now. It's about, is it 2 weeks or 1 week? I can't remember exactly when Imperial crafting was introduced. But basically, I will not be able to sustain if I just hand in honey wine, if I just hand in meat stew, right? Because every time when I cook like a portion of meat stew is 5,000 lamb meat used. So you can see that you will not be able to sustain if you do not vary the things that you're handing in. So I've been previously doing exclusively Imperial crafting for cooking. Now you see that I'm doing Alchemy because I realized that I cannot sustain. So it's very important for you to look at that aspect as well, right? So personally, I recommend that you either cook 2 different dishes. Personally recommend 3 if you can, and if not, you have to rotate between cooking and Alchemy if you can. If this Imperial crafting thing where you want to make potentially 19 mil, 20 mil every day to be something of a thing that you want to do. Alright, so for me personally, for Imperial crafting delivery, I do meat stew, right? I do honey wine. What's my honey wine? And right now I'm going to start making, where is this? The fish fillet chip, right? I'm going to show you guys some of the websites that I use later on in this later part of this video to share with you more about the stuff. Okay, so you can look into other foods as well. I mean, the ones that the other people are handing in, people are definitely thinking that these are the convenient ones. This is why if you actually watch my note videos in the past, or like my beginner videos, that's why I mentioned in those times, which is like 3 months ago by the way, that notes like eggs are very important. Yeah, that's why the Alejandro farm cooking honey is the only cooking honey in the game. Is very important to get early in the game before Imperial crafting comes out. So this is how like everything falls into place. Right, so for for Alchemy, people do the basic one, right? And then Elixir of Wings and Sea, you saw me doing those, and then I think up to the demi-human hunt one, you can try. Like any of these, you can basically go check out and do your own research and see which one is more applicable and which one you want to invest notes, CP into notes to get the materials for doing them. Right, so sustaining your Imperial crafting is very important to consider as well if you want to continue to make that 19.5 mil that I do every single day if I hand in everything. And I have been handing in everything every day for ever since I started doing Imperial crafting. Okay, what else have I missed out here? I just want to see if there's anything else I missed out. Okay, so the last part about Imperial crafting is the quote-unquote profits. The question that I mentioned just now, which is, are you actually making money, right? So the thing about, at the start of the video, I mentioned that it's about liquidating your quote-unquote useless materials or food in the game, right? So for example, if you take a look at honey wine here, nobody buys this thing, right? Potentially nobody buys this thing. I mean, people will actually buy it and then pack it into the package, but you will realize that you make a loss, right? I'll show you the website for this thing later on. But basically, the game doesn't design itself, right, to have a need for people to buy this and use this. This is why, quote-unquote, this food is quote-unquote useless, which is why you can then convert this food into a package and then sell to the NPC, and then whatever materials that is needed to make honey wine is now useful in that sense. And then, you know, people will start buying the materials like cooking honey, people will start sniping lamb meat, kind of stuff, and all this applies to all the other Imperial crafting food or dishes that are actually quote-unquote a profit when it comes to making them into a package and then handing them to NPC. Because if you do the math, right, if you actually sold the honey wine at maximum price, you will only make like 170,000. Yeah, if you sell in the package of the 50 that I mentioned just now. So if you look at Imperial crafting for cooking, honey wine, 50, right? I believe I did some math yesterday when honey wine was still more expensive, like 3.9k per. Right now it's 3.8k is dropping. Yep, now it's 3.5, sorry. So let's say we assume it's 3.5 maximum cost, right? And you multiply by 50. So you realize that, let's just do a quick math, okay? So 50 times 3.5, it's only 175,000. So you still potentially make 15,000 profit, right? When you hand in to the Imperial crafting NPC, 15,000 quote unquote profit compared to if you sold it at maximum price. The thing is, if you sell it at maximum price, which you won't, which is why I think that the consideration that people think about when they talk about like, oh, if you sold this thing, how much you actually make, it doesn't really matter that much, because in the first place, nobody would buy it. You know what I'm trying to say? Even though, yeah, there are people that buy. Like, well, another example that I can put to you here is for milk tea, right? If you actually bought milk tea, I think it's 40 milk tea. Let me just look at the Imperial crafting again. Like, there's milk tea for you to buy, so 50 milk tea, right? So if you look at milk tea right now, so it's less than 9,000, right? So it's 450,000 for one of the Imperial crafting package. But if you handed in the Imperial crafting package here, right? Look, it's only 437,000. So if you bought milk tea and you package it, you lose money in that sense, right? So to some people, milk tea is actually not worth to do Imperial crafting for, which is why you can see people don't hand in milk tea for now. Yeah. Which brings us to the website that I was talking about just now. Let me just bring that out real quick. This is a Excel sheet that someone did for NE and EU that one of my viewers shared with me to give me an idea of what is Imperial crafting quote unquote profit and loss in their server. But this does not apply to our server right now, because if you look at this real quick right now, let me just bring it up. You can see that milk tea is actually a profit. It's a P right now, but it's not. I just told you that it's not, because you can see the market price for them is 7.8k when the market price for us is 9k, right? So this list, I'll put it in the links in the description. You can check it out. Gives you an idea of what is quote unquote probably profitable in terms of what you should cook or what you should make for Alchemy. I'll share that in the link, right? And the other very good website that I want to share here is the BDOSEA.com, right? BDOSEA.com, where you can actually go to see what you can make, the ingredients you need. So let's say if you want to make the fish fillet chip that I mentioned just now, you can see all the breakdown of all the ingredients you need, and it's going to be very useful for you to decide what you want to actually Imperial craft for cooking and Alchemy. A very useful website as well that I'll put in the description as well. And yeah, I think that's about it for the video. So I did forget to mention one thing, alright, which is about the Imperial seals that you get whenever you do Imperial crafting hand-ins, and you get a different seal for cooking and Alchemy, right? They give you very useful things that you can exchange the seals for various items, right? So over here, the Imperial, the shiny golden seal for Alchemy, you can change 250 for the Hysteria black essence. Yep. I'm not sure what the ancient artifact pot is used for. I think it's an interior decoration item for your residence. And then the light steel horseshoe of storm, I'm not sure what that does as well. I know that the Imperial seals for Alchemy, black essence Hysteria is used to make your Hysteria crystal. Yep, let me just show you real quick. See, black magic crystal Histria. Yep, you get 150 more stamina, and you can see that 84 has been sold. That means that people have been making like 160 mil. Wait, is 160 mil? Times 8, yeah. Wait, no. 100. Wait. 1.6B? Yeah, 1.6B, I think. So this is really good, just the FYI. And then, of course, for the Imperial crafting for cooking, you have your Cobalt Linus. Yeah, the Kobe Linus Black Essence, and that one, same thing. You get 400, right? You can also sell the black magic crystal. What you do is you get the essence, and then you get a Cobalt Linus crystal. You heat them together, you'll get a black magic crystal for Cobalt Linus. And again, that's all damage reduction plus 2, so you can put 2 in your chest piece. That's 4 additional all damage reduction, which is very nice as well. So this is the thing that I missed out that I realized while editing the video. Yep. Cool. Right. If you actually watch towards the end, okay, I don't do my Imperial crafting hand-ins at Halo because it's too packed, right? But you can see that Alchemy seems good, right? Look, this is no one handed in, it was just me. Yep. So you can do Alchemy in Halo, I guess, but if you don't want to do in Halo, the tip here is this, alright? People don't want to travel far away from their home base to do Imperial hand-ins. You know, somewhere along the east, if you know what I mean. That's where I do my hand-ins, right? That means that I can guarantee myself to hand in everything within 2 server changes, right? Because I mentioned just now that, you know, it's 24 to 34 hand-ins per dish. So let's say if you have 2 dishes, usually you'll be able to hand in about 50 per server, right? So if you do a server change, 2 servers, you're done. That's 100. So I'm done for the day, and that means that I'll probably take only 20 minutes, because you know you have to wait 10 minutes after you do a server change, and then you have to run back and forth. So I would say 15 minutes per server. So 20 minutes to 30 minutes to finish your Imperial crafting hand-ins, and that's very, very good. So it's up to you to get creative. Halo is definitely not recommended if you want to do honey wine meat stew and all that kind of good stuff. But you can see that the one that I mentioned just now, the fish fillet chip, right? Where is the fish fillet chip? See, 31. Nobody does it. I mean, it's a bit cheaper, 160,000, but you know, it's still 16 mil. It's not that bad, right? And it's relatively easy to cook. You can look into that as well. And I think that's about it. So the rest of Imperial crafting and cooking, it's up to you. You know, it's up to you to go do your own research. Up to you to decide if you just want to make the convenient choice and just do what I do. You know, honey wine meat stew, fish fillet chip, or you can actually go research and do something of your own. And you know, do things that people don't do, so that you know you can do it in Halo. Like I mentioned, Alchemy, no one does it. Elixir of Wings, Elixir of Seal, nobody does it, man. And you can see that some of the other ones are very, very lucrative. But remember, don't forget about what I mentioned just now, that you must make sure that you look into the quote-unquote potential value of the materials that they are using to convert into the food or the alchemy product to be packaged. You want to do some math first. There are some, right? That's why in the Excel sheet there are some that is a net loss. Like you could have just sold the materials that you needed to make those things, or you could have sold the end product itself and still make more money than if you actually, you know, go and hand in to the Imperial crafting delivery. So I think that's about it for this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, or if this video helped you, share it with your friends who need to know more about Imperial crafting. That's the first thing. Leave a like if you want to, just to help me out. And yeah, I stream every day at twitch.tv/Kazu Aikawa. If you have any heart-burning questions for me, you can always go down there and let me know. If you have further insights and stuff to share with me, you can also check me out in my stream. I stream every day around 7 PM to 8 PM GMT +8 for about 7 to 9 hours depending. And yeah, I also have a Discord community if you want to check that out as well. Links in the description below. But as always, my name has been AikawaKazu. Thanks for watching once again. God bless, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.